All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the Unpopular Black Gamer, where we are recapping season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I know we are a little late. I know life be life, and we say this a lot. I know, but I mean, this is not our full time job. But you're here with your boy, Unpopular Black Gamer, aka Dante. As always, I am accompanied by my boy, Patrick. Say hello, Patrick.
Hello, public service announcement. The Tennessee Titans have won a football game. This is
For,
not a drill.
for the
It's time to
first
celebrate, people.
time this season, the Tennessee Titans won in the most Tennessee Titans way.
Wins win. And our rookie quarterback is clutch. So I will take that.
We'll see. We'll see as the season go on. But I would be remiss to point out that we are accompanied by two special guests. First off, introducing my brother Charles. Charles, welcome back to the cast, sir. Say hello.
Hello, I know it's been a while. How many episodes has it been since I've been on?
Since the recap of season 2 of Strange New Worlds. So
Oh wow, yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, at least
So,
a year.
I'm glad to be back.
Glad to have you for this recap. And then, of course, the fourth special guest, well, the second special guest, I should say, the fourth person with us today. Kumla, welcome to the cast, sir. Say hello.
What up, people? It's great. It's good to be back. I don't think I haven't been here this season, have I?
No, the only one that you've been in was during Strange Trek, where we had the Lost Court episode, which still saddens me. That's still sad to me.
We have the recap of the court episode, but we don't have the court episode itself.
We don't, which is weird. Which makes me remember. Hey, Patrick, at some point during this cast, can you make sure that this is casting on you?
Yeah, I just right when I said it, I just jumped on.
Oh, okay, so. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. We have a lot to discuss. This is mainly just focusing on season 3 of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. We have a lot to focus on with this one, and I kind of wanted to start off with how we felt about the episodes. Mainly, what you felt like was the best episode of this series and what you felt was the worst episode of this series. So anybody want to go first on that one?
I think one of the guests have to go first.
Yeah, I got you. So as far as the worst episode for me, it would have to be the holodeck episode, A Space Adventure Hour.
Really?
That would have to be the worst one.
Okay.
I mean, it ties into another point I have later, but like, I first of all, when I first turned it on, I had to double check to make sure I had the right, the right program. Like, did I get the wrong button? and then, yeah, it was I don't know. It didn't. I lost the. I got tired of watching it after a while. It was hard to get through for me.
That's interesting that you say that. I gave that episode a 7.5 out of 10. There were elements that I liked and then elements that I didn't like. I would probably say the biggest thing with that episode was it's the fatigue of like the holodeck breaking.
Right. Even though this is the first one chronologically?
Technically, yeah. Quote unquote.
Yeah, but it wasn't our first holodeck episode. I think that capped the potential of the episode for sure.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, they saw that it's the same problem that 100 years later,
Yes,
200
with the
years
same
later,
solutions.
it's still happening. And like, their proposed solution, we know didn't work. We know their proposed solution didn't work.
Charles, what were you about to say?
I said just like technology today.
Yeah.
It's true, but see, here's my thing with this. Like, okay, I get it for that episode because they were trying to figure out how to run the holodeck, but in later within Star Trek, it's always been stated that the holodeck runs on its own separate power source. So there's not like an emergency off switch where you can just hit it and it just cuts all the power to the holodeck.
So what you mean is they couldn't do a Control Alt Delete?
They never can with the holodeck.
That's the first thing you do. That's the first thing you do in IT. Turn it off and turn it back on again.
It's the very first thing. That is like number one with troubleshoot. Yes.
Come on, restart. And there's always some made up reason why they can't turn it off. Like, oh, they might die if you turn it off. What? How? Okay.
So that goes back to the technology episode, one of the first Strange Tracks.
Yes.
That I think it was just me and you, Dante. It makes no sense. Like when it breaks, it's always life or death. Sense. Like the safety protocols.
The safety protocols are on as soon as it breaks. Oh, the safety protocols might be off. Oh, you think?
Yeah. So now all the guns are real, all the knives are real.
Yeah, I think they need new protocols. I mean, they need new protocols. Like, they shouldn't always falter like that. That's not.
Always.
I don't know.
Always.
Yeah, it makes it seem like they put you in a whole new dimension or something. Like, it's just weird. I don't know how it works. I'm just saying that it's kind of weird how something like that, like they just can't shut it off and the people inside will be fine. I don't understand that. So I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
And also.
Well, go ahead.
And also in this episode. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
And also in this episode, they kind of go out of their way to expand the stakes of the holodeck episode, like they've done in other Star Trek ones, where they're like near a neutron star that's collapsing, and it's taking the power they need to get away from the star. So, and then like Scotty's not like asking for help. That's like a thing in this episode too. So it's one of these things where like the whole ship could blow up, but Scotty's not acting that way. And to everyone else's point, the holodeck, it could just unalive everybody, to use YouTube language. So it gets out of hand.
I will say that there are two things about this episode that are redeeming for me. Like, even though it wasn't my highest rated, nor was it my lowest rated, I still felt that La'an had a really good character arc during this episode. And also Scotty's character arc during this, seeing him in a way that he wasn't so sure of himself, and like building on that confidence to become the Scotty that we all know and love. It was good to see those two characters in a different light.
I agree with you. That's the biggest strength of that episode. The character building was actually pretty good.
Okay.
I don't have nothing to add. I don't have nothing to add to that.
Well, let's keep going with what we felt like the weakest episode was. Charles, what was your weakest episode of the season?
Well, after Kuma said that, it probably would have been that one, but
I mean, if it's the same, it's the same.
You can pile on.
No, but I'm gonna go with Terrarium, and it's not that it was bad. It's just that I think it was the most disappointing to me because it had a lot of potential within the story that it was trying to tell, and I think it could have been expanded upon a little bit further than what we got.
Charles, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. That was my worst episode of the season. I actually gave it a 6 out of 10. When me and Patrick were discussing this episode, what I told him was how I look at the episode is how much does it grasp me while I'm watching it. So I'm taking notes while I'm sitting down and watching the episodes. But if you make me forget to take notes, this is a great episode. I'll automatically has that. I'm like reassessing my thoughts on that. I'm just like, oh my, I forgot to take notes. Go back, skip back to like go back and like the stuff that I missed so I can write that down. But this one, I I didn't forget to take notes. I just had no drive to take the notes. If that makes sense.
I think you was probably scared that you was gonna tear the new one because you gonna see all the plot holes that was in that episode. There's lots of things that make any sense.
I did rip in a new one.
Yeah,
all the plot holes can be closed up with magic. That is, there's a magical being in this episode, and it just closes up all the plot holes. Just magic.
In the interest of being forthright here, me and Kumla have actually talked about this episode offline. And his main thing that he said was everything can be explained by the alien that controlled the whole scenario. So
the Metrons.
Yeah, the Metrons. So everything that happened that was a plot hole would be like, oh, the Metrons just set it up that way. Well, the Metrons did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Speed Force in the Flash comics.
Basically.
Like,
yes.
Don't need to explain anything. It's just the Speed Force did it. Yes. I'm going to take a little bit of the drama of this podcast out and say Terrarium was also my worst. So we can just talk about it more. And one of the things, the note that stuck out to me, I'm looking back at my notes, is that Strange New Worlds writers are bad at writing a ticking clock episode.
Yes. Yeah. They had a multitude. Me and Patrick pointed that out during the review. Like, what was it like, Patrick? 3 or 4 ticking clocks?
I think we got up to like 5 or 6 where they tried to like build suspense through the we're running out of time. But I point out to Dante, like, they weren't even at red alert when they were holding the wormhole open. Like, it was just like, are we in danger or not? I don't understand what's happening.
It was so true. When he pointed out, I was like, they were not at red alert. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely the Strange New Worlds writers' kryptonite, because Tomorrow, the episode that shall not be named that I named, was a ticking clock episode that was just like, I don't understand the pacing. I don't get if this is a real emergency or not. Like, I like the Gorn storyline where, like, Ortega's kind of is on this healing journey of her PTSD and makes friends with the Gorn.
So that's the part of it that pisses me off. If I'm being honest, because you had
Making
something
friends?
like that, huh?
Oh, I thought you meant making friends was pissing you off. I was like, what?
No, popular black gamer is just angry all the time.
All the time. No, I don't want new friends. I already got enough. Screw y'all. No, like, it was the most Star Trek type set piece of a person that has PTSD from a species that they are technically, quote unquote, at war with, and they get put into a situation where they have to rely on one another and understand, like, how the other is. Like, okay, this is why humans act this way. Oh, this is why Gorn act this way, and like forge this type of friendship throughout. But it had so many plot holes, going down to the point of when Ortegas just sees the two of them coming out of the same dwelling, and she just opened fires immediately. There was a lot of stuff in this episode that I was just like, and the wormhole, and Kumla's gonna point this out.
wait, going back to shooting the Gorn on sight. I think they did that to highlight the growth that Ortega's had that Luan has not in this aspect. She just came outside and fired it. I think they did that to highlight the difference, and they had her do it because she was the one that grew up, escaped, and has had the most experience with the Gorn. So, like, it's more embedded in her to see a Gorn and just shoot, regardless of circumstance.
But all of season 2 was kind of centered with Ortega's character development, was centered around her getting past the hurt of the Gorn and what they did.
Yep.
So it's basically saying, like, the growth that she had in season 2 was for nothing. She's always going to hate the Gorn.
No. You're talking about You talking about Ortegas or
La'an. I'm sorry, La'an.
Lon?
I think it would have been a much better episode if it was Lahan that was there and not Ortega.
I agree.
I think it
I
would have been
thought
a better episode if it was both of them. To be honest with you,
Well, you know what? Yeah, that worked.
like
Which
I,
is why, which comes back to my main gripe with that episode is why was she the only one on that ship?
I pointed that out, Charles. I'm glad you said that. I pointed it out, and it was so freaking mental. Like
It was a contrived plot to try to just get Ortegas isolated. Like the ship had to be light for some reason.
it's in
It
space.
didn't have weight, even though it's in space. Yeah,
What? What is what? I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not weighted to mast and the engine strain on the engines. I can see. I'm not mad at that plot point. Like I can see how they could, science fiction their way to that.
So they had to strip it down to the bare necessities on this shuttle. So that meant no weapons,
including the rations,
and the rations, that she just so happened to have, just so happened to be next to the component that exploded when the ship crashed. So she had no rations.
exactly. I'm like, why are the rations next to the
Space magic?
Space magic. Space magic. They built in a get out of jail free card plot wise on this particular episode. Just this one.
But that's the issue. Okay, we can all agree that every episode has plot holes. We can all agree to that. The question is, do the writers do enough to draw you into the storyline to where you just say, screw it, I don't care about that plot hole. This episode's amazing. Or do you just be like, what the fuck was that shit?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if there was a big payoff at the end. There was no big payoff.
Exactly.
I agree with that. I do agree.
She just talks to the Metrons, and then because the Metrons want to still be a surprise in TOS, they wipe part of her memory, and it's just like, okay, well.
Well, some will argue that was the big payoff, but you're right, Patrick. They wiped her memory, so what's the payoff?
Wait, who argues that the Metrons more important than? I mean, we haven't done the TOS rewatch, but I'm like, weren't they just in that one random episode?
They were just in that. I think, from what I remember, they were just in that one random episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the payoff was cool. All right, cool. Thank you for the Metrons.
So it was
this was my worst episode.
It was an awful payoff.
It took us a long time to get to Metrons. And I was like, I wasn't asking for Metrons.
I think the payoff is Ortega. I think the payoff was Ortega's growth. I think that was the main.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the main crux of this episode. Yes.
Oh, Kuma, did you feel satisfied after watching that episode?
No.
Like Ortega, the growth she had was amazing. Bravo. None of us felt it. We was like, what is happening here? Why did it? It was just too many like upsetting moments in the episode that you just kind of just gloss over her growth.
I didn't gloss over it, but it was expected that eventually she'll grow out of this because she goes on this arc, not to get into the character arc thing, where like she's so traumatized that she's disobeying orders in one episode to being able to befriend and miss Agorn to kind of get back to herself. It's like, okay, that was a fun journey to go on, but like I kind of didn't expect her not to go on that journey. So like, and also the placement of this episode in the season, this is the penultimate episode. So like, you expect more. I won't say action, but like drama, something, oomph to it. And this was just like, oh, okay. Like if it was episode 5, which would be terrible pacing, but not 5, because 5 was awesome mid-season. But if it was like episode 7 or something like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, we got through a week. But I came into episode 9 being like, all right, let's do this. And we were just I was kind of bored the whole time.
So I will admit something. To Kumla and to Charles. Patrick already knows. So by episode 8, which is 4.5 Vulcans, me and Patrick were kind of riding high. I gave that episode a 9.5 out of 10. Patrick, I think you gave that like a 9 out of 10 or something to that effect. We both gave it pretty high.
Yeah, I was looking at the scores earlier. Like, there was a streak in the middle of the season where it was like 9, 10, 10, 9.
10, yeah.
And then this episode. Yeah, exactly.
And I said jokingly, because we know how last season, after after episode 2 of the court episode, I can't think of the name right now for some reason.
Ad Astra per Aspera.
Yes. After we had that, Patrick famously said, "I don't think Strange New Worlds is going to have a terrible episode. It's just been banger after banger." And then episode 3 was tomorrow, and it was awful. So yeah. I said jokingly after episode 8, I give this a 9.5 out of 10. I don't think Star Trek Strange New Worlds will have a terrible episode this season. I think all of them will be great. But I was saying that facetiously to say, like, one, to make fun of that from season 2, but also to say, like, normally episodes 9 and 10 are normally always pretty strong. Like, it's very rare that they faltered on those episodes. So to get episode 9 and it was just meh and had all these plot holes and really didn't stick the landing, it was just like, yeah, y'all missed the boat on this one.
Yeah, well, I think a part of it is also the in-game effect, because 4.5 Falcons, they brought you up, had all this good, and then this mid happens, and it just seems so much worse after you just had those good episodes in a row.
I mean, because we will all agree that the 2 filler episodes this season was 4.5 Vulcans and the holodeck episode.
Yes.
Wedding Bell Blues.
Yeah.
I forgot about Wedding Bell Blues. Yeah. Yeah. So, like,
forgot about which episode?
Wedding Bell Blues.
Oh, okay, that's 3 filler.
The other magic fixes everything episode.
Not wrong.
that could have been a candidate for worst episode for sure.
Yeah, that one was close. I gave that one a 7 out of 10, only because I would actually watch that episode again and not skip it.
I'm skipping both of them. I'm skipping that one and Space Adventure Hour, and probably Terrarium again on a second watch. Honestly.
Como's like, I have infinity skips. I will skip as many as I need to.
Hilarious. Well, let's focus on what we thought was the best episode of the season. Since all of y'all went before me last time, I'll go ahead and start this one. And to be honest with you, I am really stuck between 2 episodes, because there were 2 episodes this season that I gave a 10 out of 10, and the first one is episode 6, to shell out who ate his tail.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one was What is Starfleet, episode 7. Like, I loved both of them. Granted, like, with What is Starfleet, I love documentaries anyways. So when it started off like that, I was like, oh my God, they're doing a documentary. I'm loving this. And a lot of the character development that happened throughout that episode, especially with Uhura, I truly, truly loved. And go ahead.
Okay, this is going to derail us a little bit, but give me a little bit of grace. I would like to defecate on Terrarium a little bit more. And that was also
after I just gave this like philosophical answer on why I thought what's the name was so good. No, let's go back to Terrarium. I want to shit on this even more.
I got some more hate in my heart.
We never left the outhouse. All right, we never left.
I thought we buried. I thought we buried it. Now we got to dig it back up. Go ahead.
The horse, Charles. It's the horse. It's the horse. Patrick just kept kicking it while we moved forward. He just kept kicking it. He's like, "Hey,
I was still over there.
I want to come back to this."
Well, what triggered me is you mentioned Uhura's development, and Terrarium had a bad Uhura moment in it where she lied about the data, and I just forgot to mention it because I still don't get what they were trying to do with Uhura in that episode. She was, one, like, overly, and I know she's a female character, so I'm saying this lightly. She was overly emotional about Ortegas, in my opinion, and then she lies to Pike, and then when she goes to confess to Pike, Pike's like, I know, and we're good, and it's just like, oh, why did she lie to begin with? So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out there.
With that. There was no stakes with that, and she got off scot-free at the end, so she didn't...
She didn't know there was no stakes with it, though. She didn't know there was no stakes with it. Turns out there was no stakes, but she didn't know that at the time.
But how does that make her better? How does it make the character better that she lied about, the data and then...
Hopefully, that leads her to trust her leadership more in the future. Hopefully.
Yeah. I think that's fair. They don't say it.
They do not.
But...
They do not. It would have been great to have, like what me and Patrick pointed out during the review, like it would have been great to have like at least a little quick one-off, like not even a 30-second scene of him talking to her and just like one-on-one and just saying like I would have hoped that you would have trusted me as long as we've been serving with one another. I would have.
He did. He did have a conversation with her.
It wasn't even to that effect, Cooley. It was just real quick. It was just, yeah, I know that you lied. It's okay,
yeah, and
we move forward.
Right. I mean, like that's kind of he kind of had that conversation with her. That was his version of that conversation with her. He just didn't spell it out.
Yeah,
unlike the entire rest of the episode spelling out Ortega's journey.
Right.
But it was the entities. The entities did that cooler. The entities.
Metrons, space magic. Yep. Okay, sorry to bring us back to the negative spot, but
no,
triggered that, and so.
But you did bring up something with Uhura. She had a lot of moments in this season, and I mean a lot.
Hold on, since we're on Uhura, can I say that like they have finally figured out her look? She is looking better and better.
Damn. Me and Patrick. Actually, in a number of scenes throughout this season, me and Patrick have put out damn for a lot of the female characters in this in Strange New Worlds. Because I mean, we already know we got a crush on La'an. I definitely have a crush on her actress.
And Nurse Chapel.
And Nurse Chapel always got me. All right, she has me at hello. Okay.
I was not on board with Lon until the dancing episode started, and I was like, oh, I see what you all are talking about.
It's something about her, ain't it?
Yeah, no, she's my celebrity crush. But yeah, I will say all the characters were locked in on their looks this year. Like all the design this season was good. But yeah, they definitely got her right this season compared to prior seasons.
We'll definitely touch on how the characters developed this season. But I do want to go back to our favorite episode for this season.
Yes, back to the positive.
So, y'all know mines. Like I said, I'm stuck between those two. I love them both for different reasons. So I can't say which one would be better than the other.
Yeah, and let me jump in for a second here. I know we probably should let the guest go first, but same thing. I gave both of those episodes a 10. And when I keep trying to choose one over the other, there's such different episodes, like you said, with one being a documentary and the other one being basically a direct original series prequel. That was pretty cool. I'm like, I don't really... It's like choosing my best apple and my best orange and which one I like. Like, it's hard to choose which one is the better episode. So I don't know, Charles, Kumla, if you guys have like a distinct favorite episode from the season, or even if it was one of those. But yeah,
I definitely have a distinct favorite.
Go ahead,
This is a lot who hates his own tail. What is Starfleet? I wasn't a fan of it. To be fair, I need to go back and watch it. I haven't done it yet, but I will. But right now, I cannot say that's my favorite episode. It has to be The Sherlock Who Ate His Own Tail.
That's fair, because one of the things that I loved about the Sherlock Who Ate His Own Tail is how like they set it up in a way to where everyone who's going to be under Kirk's command just so happened to end up on his ship. And like so he gets to see them in a different light. They also get to see him in a different light. And then at the end, you get to see where the Spock and Kirk dynamic comes into play and why Kirk wanted Spock to be his first officer when he became the captain of the Enterprise. I thought it was I thought it was so great at how they did that whole episode and showed the growth of Kirk, even showing Kirk, because we've always seen Kirk in a no-win scenario, comes out on top. He always wins, except in
Khan.
Wrath of Khan, of course. But I mean, even then, the next episode, Spock comes back to life. So I mean, the next movie, Spock comes back to life. So he truly doesn't lose. So to see him in an area where he wasn't sure of himself,
all the mistakes and still win. Just so you know.
I think somebody
we'll get to that later.
Someone said that. Someone very profound said that quote, Kumla. You are true. You are true. So Charles, I would have to agree with you. Kumla, what do you think?
So I love both episodes as well. But just so I get a chance to talk about it, I'm going to say, what is Starfleet? And it is my favorite episode because no matter where you stood on what is Starfleet, as in when we talked about is it a military or not, you come out of that feeling like you're right. And it's still a good adventure the entire time. You come out of it, it did not end the debate. Yeah. It continued the debate. It furthered the debate in a very interesting and detailed and nuanced way. And it just allowed the debate to continue. Like, they gave the Star Trek answer, like, because of the people that are in it, but like, that it didn't sway anyone. But it was still very entertaining.
I guess you could say the Star Trek answer was, it depends. Like, there are certain situations where they're going to be in a military style type way, depending on what's going on. But then there's going to be situations where they're peaceful, exploring, learning about new life. So it's one of those things. It's just like it could be either or, but it just really depends on the situation. Go ahead.
And even the mission in the episode does both, because they're showing up to transport a weapon to one of their allies on a different planet. Yeah. And then they're like, wait, this weapon is sentient. Wait, we can communicate with this weapon. Wait, this thing's not really a weapon. Like, there's like a military mission, but then there's exploration they have to do to even figure out how to bring a good resolution to it. And then they go back and make it clear with it was almost a throwaway line, but they made it clear that like, yeah, Starfleet's going to let the Jakaru, I think it was called, fly into the sun. So it's like the way they layered the story in that episode to see both was really good. Even through Beto, who comes in hot and then decides to humanize him after talking to Uhura, because he's got a thing for Uhura that they had to sort out. So yeah, it was. I'm just 100% backing up Kumla's point here. Like, it was very well done.
But you have Beto with the whole, like, on the side of, they are a militaristic entity. And he was trying to prove that this whole thing. And even he softened by the end of that, not really truly feeling that they may be a true militaristic entity. But not necessarily saying that they are not. So Kumla hit it on the head.
Right, because their answer is like, it's the people, but you know who else was the people making decisions? The Starfleet command are also Starfleet and knew all of this from the jump and still decided to send them on this mission in the first place.
I
So
wonder
like
which bad
the
rule.
people,
I wonder which bad rule
the people were
side
on both
this.
sides.
Yeah, we had a little debate in the review episode on whether that was Admiral April or a different admiral, and I was like, it has to be April because April's everybody's boss in this show. But Dante was pretty adamant that was not Admiral April that sent them on this mission. So
It was hard for me to see, as well as we know Admiral April and his character. It was hard for me to see him give Pike this particular mission and hear what's going on and still be like, hey, we got to go through with the mission. We got to go through with the mission.
Right, but Pike wasn't the one speaking up against it.
You're right. Fair point. That is a fair point. Pike was still like towing the line as a good captain.
So was number one. So was number one. It wasn't. It was the communications officer and the people that turned it around was the communications officer and the journalist.
Yeah, and Spock played a role with the mind meld.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which Patrick did point out with the mind meld that the mind melds absolutely make no sense. You could
be its own episode.
Anything with the mind meld. It is a Deus Ex Machina. That's what I told Patrick.
You can release your anger so easily with a mind meld.
You can do whatever the hell you want with the mind meld.
Pretty much. Because I was comparing.
I'm going to keep to myself on that one. Just so many jokes.
There were three. We're on the internet.
I truly want to hear one of these jokes.
Well, I brought that up because there were three big mind melds in the season, and they all did different stuff. Like one synced Kirk and Spock's brains. One let Spock speak to the Katras in the Four Vulcans episode, and then one was with this Chikaru, and I'm like, how does this thing actually work? and to Dante's point that he made, is like it does whatever they need it to do, and I couldn't disagree.
It truly is one of those plot devices that the writers created to like get you out of a plot hole. We've written ourselves into a hole. Mind meld, we're out of it. We're good.
But it kind of makes me wonder, man. You ever remember that movie Demolition Man? Mm-hmm. Remember that little special equipment they had to put on in order to have a relationship with somebody else? Can the mind meld work the same way?
Oh my goodness!
Is that like a computer form of a mind meld? Is that
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this episode, not in this episode, but in the Four Vulcans episode, they showed how challenging it might be to have, or maybe your kind of point, it might be beneficial to have a Vulcan girlfriend. So,
I just realized something. In Cisco and Picard's timeline, there is an all Vulcan ship.
Yeah.
Like, what if a good number of them got Panthar all at the same time? Okay.
Can't be too far from Vulcan. We gotta get back right now.
That is definitely not a.
Or you have everything you need on the ship already.
That's true.
That is definitely not a deep exploration vessel.
or it is in more ways than one.
I was hoping someone made that joke.
Charles, did we get your best episode?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, the shell who ate his tail.
Dante expanded upon that, but I will say with the Shaw ate his own tail, there was an interesting story that they had with the previous explorers. They sent out like centuries ago, and for them to have that type of community they have, it was bad or worse, and people was making stories off of it. It was kind of interesting to see how they came up with the technology and how they was able to fight other races and accumulate their technology into their own. I think there was more to the story because it was just too many boogeyman stories that they had going with about them. and I really wish they could have expanded on that further. And I hope they do in the next, maybe the upcoming season or something
Yeah,
to
so
kind of
I
expand
agree.
upon.
so
Or it might end up being its own series. That could be interesting with it being its own series if that's why they're
That could
holding it
be.
back.
It'd be a
Mm.
little dark, but
yeah, I
it
don't
could
see
be.
how they
A
could
lot,
do
a
that.
lot dark. It'd be a lot dark. A lot.
It'd be very dark.
I don't see how they can do that effectively unless it was like a short series.
Right.
Well, it could be a mini series.
Yeah.
Speaking of new series, I have in my random notes in the episode prep here, they're talking about developing a series around Jonathan Archer, the captain from Enterprise, during
Wow.
his time as Federation president. And I was like, that could be interesting.
That could be
That
interesting, but I
that
don't
sounds
think.
like Star Wars if all you left in Star Wars was the politics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They were
And
like, it would.
however, they didn't have a Star Trek that focused directly on the whole politics of it. They would touch on the politics, but not like the whole series is based off of this side of the Federation in Star Trek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that show would do. I don't know how well that show would do.
What they were.
I'll, I probably would say it like this. I don't know how well it would do, but maybe you can probably get 20 episodes because it wouldn't take much.
Another miniseries.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, they can expand on the word a little bit more, but they don't have to use a lot of graphics
We
or
don't need.
anything like that CGI that's in the show because it's all about the politics. So they can save a lot of money on there. I don't think that's not a bad idea for them to do something like that.
well, it's not the point of them saving the money. It's like, could they make interesting episodes? Is the biggest thing.
I think they could. I think they could. There's a lot to talk about because they could spend
There
on.
is.
Mm.
There is. I would definitely agree with you on that. My
Yeah,
thing, like we've heard a lot of like grumblings within the Star Trek community of what might be the next series. Another one that I ran into was the young years of Captain Kirk when he first took over the Enterprise. Um,
Hmm.
That's
uh,
the original
I think they
series.
do need to do original. Yeah, they do need to
That's
do
the
the
original
original
series.
series.
yeah, but
It starts off.
I don't think it starts. From what I remember about like the very first episode, they don't
The
talk
very
about it
first
being the
episode.
maiden voyage.
The very first episode. Pike is the captain.
Yeah, and then the second one is just like all of a sudden Kirk, but they don't talk about within that episode.
No, it's two. I think
Well,
it's
it's a two-parter. Yeah, it's a
or
two-parter.
three episodes. Yeah,
No,
with
no, no.
Pike.
They got
And
two pilots. It was two different pilots. There's a pilot with Pike, and then there's a pilot with Kirk. So it's like a very rare thing in television where they got two pilots, and they used the footage from the first pilot in the episode where we got formally introduced to Pike in the beep chair.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha. I think a series like showing Kirk going from first officer to captain, and then assembling the crew and how they got to that point before we actually met them in the original series. I think that would be a good one.
We're kind of getting that now, though, right?
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they got a good starting point. They wanted to do it.
Because the actor
Yeah,
that
someone
plays
pointed
Kirk.
out.
No, go ahead.
Someone pointed out that this was the first season that we didn't get a new TOS legacy character. Um, we didn't get Sulu or Bones or Chekhov to be added to the cast.
The argument would be that Scott was that, even though he was introduced on the last episode of last season. Uh, the argument is that Scotty is the character introduced because you actually have him fleshed out through the season.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
and people are speculating that in season 4, the next character is either going to be Bones or Sulu.
Okay.
So
mm-hmm. in order to because Sulu was the pilot, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That means they'd have to off or promote or transfer Ortega.
Something would have to happen to Ortega's, which makes sense to me that they would throw in Bones instead of Sulu.
I don't want to get rid of the Doctor either. I like the Doctor.
I know, but they don't have to necessarily make it like, oh, Bones is taking over as chief medical officer. He could just be somehow be a part of the crew, just like them introducing Scotty. He didn't automatically become the chief engineer. Like they just introduced him and like showed him in the beginning of going to that point of being chief engineer.
And he got a lot of crazy skills too. So he can do almost anything with him.
Yeah.
And Bones does become chief medical officer while Mbenga's still on the ship.
Yes.
So probably after they figure out get the official confession of that Klingon homicide that he did.
That never happened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That didn't happen. I don't know. I have zero clue.
Look, this is why I love off the books missions.
The Klingon attacked him. He defended himself.
Right. Blood man can't defend himself in this Federation. What's the problem?
It be young people.
See, you see, this is why I love going on the off the books missions. Get the real story, and then don't tell anybody.
Look, I love Dr. Shaft. I don't want anything to happen to Dr. Shaft. I love him in every episode that he's in, okay? But I truly do think it would be cool to introduce Bones as another medical officer that's been assigned to the Enterprise and show like how him and Kirk actually became cool. Or
put him on the ship that Kirk's on now.
I was just about to say that. Kobla. Or put him as a chief medical officer on the what Farragut is it Farragut? Yeah, that he's on. Like that would also be cool. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So
I think also Kirk and Sulu. This is reaching back into my nerdum, and so I could be wrong. I think they also served on the Farragut together at some point before making the jump over. So you could actually introduce Sulu without getting rid of Ortegas.
That's a good way of doing that then. Well, I do want to touch on, like Charles hit on it a bit, on where this season missed the mark. With the crew, the older people that went out to colonize a planet and they ended up going crazy and stealing other technology from other species to build upon their ship. Charles, do you want to expand on like why you feel like that missed the mark for the season?
You talking about the episode with Shalai ate his own tail?
Yep.
I don't think it missed the mark. I just think it could have been more expanded upon. Like I said, it's one of my favorite episodes and the most intriguing out of all episodes for this season. I wish there was just more to it. I think they could have expanded more on it because there was a lot to tell, especially how the first colonizers or the first explorers actually went out and what happened to them. And it's almost like an afterthought that they look at it. It's like, okay, they gave a little history on it, but it didn't go any further than that. Nobody was like curious.
Yeah, the normal Star Trek wrap up at the end.
Yeah. Right. And I think it should be expanded on because it makes me think like the older Star Treks. It would have been expanded upon. They would have had a lot more to do with that particular episode. And I don't think we didn't get that. It was almost just wrapped up at the end, and that was the end of it. And they just put it on the shelf.
Yeah,
we saw these people.
A lot of exposition.
We honored them. Yeah. We honored them, and then we just move it on, and that was the end of it. And I think it could have been more.
There have been a number of Star Trek episodes that ended that way. One that comes to mind is on Star Trek Voyager, where it was
the Salamander episode.
No, God, no. Where there was this like exploration done way back in the day where they went to Mars. So it was this guy that was in this the spaceship, and his people were on Mars, like doing their thing and whatnot, and he got pulled in by some anomaly or whatnot. So like they do this a lot within Star Trek, where they have a certain situation like this, or like this was something from the past that come back to that we have to deal with now, and then it's just like wrapped up at the end. We honor them, da da da, and move forward. Not to say that that's a good thing. I'm not at all saying that that's a good thing. I am with you that I feel like that they needed to. I would love if they expanded more on these people and what happened to them.
Yeah, like with some of the technology they had, where did they get a shield that can absorb everything they threw at them?
Very true.
And they were just walking like they was just Terminator. Nothing was stopping them. I want that shield. Where did it come from?
But this goes back to our whole point of there are plot holes in every episode, and we could really ream that part of the episode, and like how were they able to find this particular shield? Like, this doesn't make sense, da 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 da. But the episode was so good that we gloss over it. We don't really like. Oh, okay, I'll allow that. Basically,
yeah. There's plot holes in everything. In everything, period. You know, so
yeah, that's true.
If you're the and none of us, like, I think, get too hung up on them. It's just whether there are so many plot holes or so bad plot holes or everything is so boring that you just keep noticing them. I think when we were talking about it during the recording, this was back in one of the non-winning weeks for the Titans. I don't know that this week, but they got a bunch of penalties, and I was like, I think once you get like 6 or 7 penalties with the refs, they just start calling everything. And I think that's how plot holes work. Like, once you notice so many of them, you just notice all of them. Like, you can't turn it off.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that is true. That's true.
So, Charles, was that your actual miss the mark moment, or does it suffice for that, or did you have a different answer?
yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't have anything else to say about it other than they just missed the ball. They could have spent it on it more. I think they could have made at least 2 or 3, maybe 2 more episodes off of it to kind of expand on it.
You might get another episode in season 4, though.
We shall see.
It'll be the puppet episode.
Just stop that.
oh, you are joining us, Charles, for that episode. I don't care what your schedule is that week. Damn it, you are joining us for that episode recap.
Look, I'll record on a Wednesday at 3 a.m. to get your reaction to that episode.
A Muppet episode, man. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna watch it. As like I said, as long as there's no singing, I'm okay.
And Kumla, what was your miss the mark for this season, if you have one?
I would say it was the the overarching story for the whole season. Which is weird to say because I enjoyed the whole season, but the main storyline of the alien, what am I, the
Gorn, the Vesda,
the Gorn being absorbed by Pike's girlfriend, and then that showing up later where the tragedy they killed off that ensign unnecessarily. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to gamble. They killed off Gamble.
R.I.P.
They didn't have to kill off Gamble like that.
I'm just happy to know that Gamble is he is unalived, like, completely. There is no him coming back. There is no. It's possible anymore because Patrick was holding on to hope. Like, it was nobody's business on this one.
Okay, so
I was with Patrick. I knew he was coming back, and he did. His body did make another appearance. I will give you that.
Right. Well, and Kuma, that's what made me kind of give it up, because the mechanism that, and I don't write fiction, not yet at least, The mechanism I would have used to bring him back was reconstitute his body in the transporter, and he's been fighting this thing in the computer, and you get him back that way. When they reconstituted him using the transporter and then put the Vesda in him, I was like, well, now it's pointless. Now there's no like fun way to do it, so I'll just forget about it.
And to your point, Patrick, they could have did a reconstitution where there were two of him that came out. Like one was the Vesta and the other was actual Gamble.
Right.
Yeah, forget that. They needed his character to pay off because they introduced him so where like you thought he was gonna be a part of this crew from here on out. If you gonna do that, if you gonna do that,
no,
you
actually I didn't. Actually, I didn't.
Charles,
they introduced him too happy.
When they introduced him, I said I put in my notes when they introduced him. Oh, a new nurse. Yeah, he's going to be unalived at some point this season.
Yep.
I literally, Patrick is my witness on this. I put that in my show.
Yeah, you said that.
Whenever somebody starts talking about, oh man, I only got a couple more days to retirement. Man, I just some red shirt talking about, oh, I just met this girl, man. We had all these plans. We're gonna go get married and all this stuff. Yeah, you gonna die. You gonna die a horrible, horrible death.
And as soon as they started that episode with, this is my very first away mission. I'm like, oh, this is the episode. This is the episode right here.
Rough. I was hoping he was gonna make it through, but they could have did more with him, especially the conflict between him and the Vestas. What's that they call
Vesda, yeah.
The Vesda. They could have had a personal struggle within his body at the beginning when when it was trying to take over him. They could have had that personal struggle, and we could have solved that to see how they actually work, how they take over the body.
Yeah,
and I don't think they really show.
I think they did show it. They kill you, and then they just inhabit your body.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Done.
You just dead.
Done and you ain't got no eyes, by the way. Eyes completely gone. Done and done.
But I agree with Charles. If they went the go ahead. If they went the route of like,
go ahead, Patrick.
Okay, I'll do it real quick. If we went the route of there was a possibility for Gamble to come back, what Charles is saying is correct. You could almost have like an X-Men Shadow Plane, like psychological battle between the two if you're going that route. But instead, they went the route of like, no, we're parasitic to a certain extent. We take you out and then take you over. So you lose that thread when you just off the character.
Before we get to Kubla on this one, like I hate the fact that you pointed out X-Men with this, but keep going.
Hey, my nerdum only knows certain bounds, right? Like it goes pretty far. So,
speaking of, like, it was interesting to see that humans aren't the only species susceptible to cult-like behavior, because he was on that planet and had them taking out their own eyes.
They were
in preparation. I was like, what?
They didn't even have an orb in front of them. They just went ahead and just like, yeah, take my eyes. What?
At a certain point, you can't just you ain't get no questions. No questions.
No.
And please don't give me the space magic BS saying that he traveled on the ley line to get to that planet.
So Charles, unfortunately, he traveled on a ley line to get to the planet.
That was a plot point as to how the hell he got to that damn planet.
You know why? So the only reason I didn't question that
the Metron
at all.
The Metrons. Is the Metron?
No, not the Metrons. No.
The Speed Force.
No, not Speed Force. Discovery, actually. Discovery.
Oh, the Mycelial Network. Yeah, I got you.
The Mycelial Network. Yep. The Mycelial Network. If the Mycelials can just show up anywhere at any time, they can't have that ley line network.
Okay, this has the same energy as like Star Trek, not 2009, the sequel to Star Trek 2009, where they introduced Khan, and he being from Earth all the way to Kronos, which is like light years away from
Oh,
Earth.
he sure did. I forgot about that.
Like this is giving that same vibes, and the only reason why you even let that go in that situation because you're looking at it as like, okay, it was J.J. Abrams. He was the one that created this this movie, so they probably just didn't lie. They just took liberties with the script.
So there's also a history of the transporter. Somebody coming along with a little extra knowledge. No, if you just do it this way, all of a sudden you can do so many things with the transporter that you haven't been able to do before.
Kumla, there's history with the transporter. There's history with the freaking warp drive. There's history with the freaking holodecks. There's history like all of these pieces of technology can do whatever the F you wanted to do.
It's great you censored yourself there, but not earlier.
Not earlier. Like I realized that I've probably accumulated way too many curse words.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just saying, all this technology that can just be expanded to do all these things, and space magic is where you draw the line. That's all I'm at.
No, I love the point. There are some YouTube critics that I'll watch because they do a breakdown of the episode, but then they also throw in their opinions when I really just need the breakdown. And they spend a lot of time criticizing how the technology works, and I'm like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
like it just can do whatever.
That's the best part about it for the writers is that like this is technology that doesn't exist. It's not based off of like any physics based principles or whatnot. Like they may have like some basics there, but not like to the full extent that we know it. So they can just do whatever the hell they want to do with these technologies. Just like for the mind meld. Whatever the hell we need to do with this mind meld to get us out of this plot point, we're going to do it.
Yeah,
because even the warp drive.
It's science fiction for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Science fiction. The science is the fiction. like people want to like the fiction part is just that story. No, the science is the fiction too.
I feel like there's a certain. Oh, you know what, Patrick? We just finally figured out why there are conservatives that really love Star Trek. Kumla just hit on it. He just hit on it. The science. Wait,
are you about to make Star Trek
is
political?
The fiction. It is whatever the hell you want it to be. Okay.
Terrible. I would do my RFK Jr. impersonation right now, but Dante told me I can't do that anymore.
No, you can't. No. I would have to edit it out, and I couldn't like air this episode until I edited it out.
I will need to hear that impression offline, though. I'm gonna need to hear that after the episode.
Will do. It honestly like starts to slip into like a European accent. Like it gets weird. I never get it right.
It's awful. It's completely awful.
It's truly bad.
Okay.
I want to back up Kumla's original point though, in that so Batel starts with, for lack of a better word, being a breeding ground for the Gorn, and then her treatment puts so many different types of alien DNA in her, I guess, because of the plant from the zombie episode, that then she becomes the ultimate enemy for the Vesda.
They never
because she can detect them.
Flesh that out.
No, and so then she has to confront the Vesda, Gamble, and then it turns out she was the Warden statue the whole time, because it's in an interdimensional space where cause and effect don't have to go in the order of cause and effect. And it's like, wow, that guy... To Kuma's point, I don't think anyone wrote that down in an outline and was like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. Like, it feels like...
You know what?
It got made up as it went along. Yeah.
I mean, so I think someone did. They were just high when they did it. And so
100%. 100%.
So is everyone else. Because if you think about it, and you're gonna hate this, I know the two of you, or I don't remember where Charles falls on this, but the whole thing was in a space-time whatever where cause and effect is backwards. The entire thing, because it goes because so which brings us back to a movie I love that you all do not. Tenet.
I started laughing before you said it. I was like, I know what he's talking about.
Patrick, you started laughing. I had nowhere where he was going, and I froze. I was like, hold on, wait, what movie?
Oh, shoot. Well, we haven't talked about it recently because I actually watched a breakdown of Tenet that New Rockstars did, and it's a long breakdown. It was a 2-hour breakdown. I was on one of the bus rides from Nashville to Atlanta, the business bus that I take, and I watched the whole thing, and I was like, "Oh, this movie's actually good." Now that I can
look,
I have this 2-hour explainer of it.
Look, we're not going to go into that area because we would probably spend another hour just on that by itself.
Well, and also, just go back to our season finale breakdown because I get pretty metaphysical about the space-time continuum, the understanding of consciousness, like things like that to try.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to explain to Dante, like, well, it really makes sense why she was always and will always be the statue if you just accept all of these things at face value that are debated. And all Dante said back to me is that time travel makes no sense.
It makes absolutely, positively zero sense. There's no way to explain it. Like,
if time travel doesn't make sense to you, like in this example, time travel is like 2-dimensional space. What that statue would be making that 2-dimensional space 3-dimensional. So if that 2-dimensional space doesn't make sense to you, the 3rd dimension is just going to confuse you even more.
Yeah, but when you add certain questions into it, it's just like, okay, so what if I never really scratched myself? Would it still have would a wound still have shown up later if I never really scratched myself?
But you always had.
But you're saying that I've always scratched myself. So
it's worse. It's worse than that, Dante. You will have had scratched yourself.
So then you get to the point of like, so is there really a such thing as free will? Like, so if something is already preordained and it's always preordained, then what is my true real with this? And that's really like the main crux of this whole season. If we're being blunt with it, like this whole point of this season.
That question makes sense. If that question makes sense when you're looking at time as linear. The whole thing is time isn't the whole problem is time isn't linear in this equation.
Well, but they do this in Deep Space Nine too, because with the prophets, the wormhole aliens,
right?
They even said like they don't understand what linear time is. Like time is not linear to them. So like they point this out a lot within that, and then also in Voyager they do a lot of time travel, and Janeway has even pointed out like situations that she's just like, okay, so you mean to tell me I'm going to do this, but we've already done this, and we already got this person. Okay, you know what? F it. Just get me there. I'll take care of this before I get a headache. Yeah. So, but like I would be remiss to not point out like where I felt like that this season missed the mark, and like we've touched on a lot of character development with the characters throughout the season, but there were certain characters that I felt like didn't really go far enough, or didn't get to a point to where I was satisfied with their character arc, and like Ortega's is one of them. And that's probably mainly because of like Terrarium being the episode that I disliked the most out of this season.
She did go on a journey.
I was going to say, we got a bit of a bias working here.
She did go on a journey. It just wasn't necessarily a satisfying journey.
It wasn't. And that was my biggest thing, that it wasn't as satisfying by the end. And Like we even touched on with Terrarium that it would have been better if Ortegas and La'an had been on that planet together and had to learn how to work with this Gorn and
Right.
to come to this situation of this conclusion where they were rescued. So I truly felt like it was a truly missed opportunity to not only expand Ortega's and La'an's character, but also to make those two characters closer just from that one aspect because they never really had anything in future episodes that showed like that they gotten close off of something. To at this point right now, they're not really truly friends. They're just really
Well,
co-workers.
Lon was too busy getting close to Spock to be getting close to anybody else. No, just
Uh,
saying.
Yeah, let
not
her
to
get her satisfaction before she starts to, be nice to everybody else.
not
She needs
to
it.
not yeah,
Okay,
not
y'all,
to short.
y'all also touched on my second point, but go ahead, Patrick.
I was gonna say the part not to sound like a pubescent fanboy because I'm a grown man, and
Uh-huh.
set aside the fact that Christina Chong is a celebrity crush of mine. I do think the situationship was a miss the mark moment for both Spock and La'an.
Patrick,
Mainly because
Patrick, hold on, hold on. I'm
okay.
sorry.
We're going back to the well. Yeah, this was a four lights moment during during the review of those episodes, and it's a four lights moment now. Yeah, I think both of these characters are just beyond a situationship. Like I think they can make meaningful choices in their personal lives now that isn't just being friends with benefits or whatever it was. So the whole time, I'm just like, okay, well, I don't get why these two aren't doing things that's more consequential in their lives with their newfound freedom and choices and personalities, and I still don't get it.
Because
Spock,
people are human,
Spock.
and Spock is half human.
So I pointed this out in a number of our reviews, but Spock's main character development in this season was that he's just fucking everybody on the Enterprise. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna say that he's gonna f the whole ship before it's all said and done.
Hey,
He's gonna
this is how he gets to. You learn by living, and this is how he is evolutioning older, wiser Spock. Because he's like, you know what, I did that. We gonna stay on this logic course because I know what that brings me.
so
But,
I really love the Spock and Nurse Chapel dynamic, and then for them to like, from what Patrick said, and he knows I hate this term in movies and shows. They wanted to flip things on its head and subvert expectations, and nope, Nurse Chapel has a new guy. And it just happened to be the guy that they talk about in the original series. So they went ahead and just like severed that relationship at that point. And then immediately he gets into another relationship with La'an. Immediately. It wasn't like a natural development, like over time. And he just got to a point where he was just like, you know what, F Nurse Chapel. And she just so happened to be there during that moment where he had that clarity and they got into this relationship. No, it was
I mean, but
immediately afterwards.
Sometimes that's how life works, though, man. Sometimes that is just how life actually works.
sometimes
Real life.
that's how life works, but this is TV, and we
Kuma.
get to write it, and we get to make it more consequential than just because it just feels like they took a step back from their own development to get into a situationship, and it's just like Lon's already been through this with Kirk.
Wait, what do you think Spock's development is?
Hmm?
What do you think Spock's development is?
Okay,
Because I don't
so I think
necessarily see this as a step back for him.
so. I think well, let me go in for both of them. I think La'an's development is she's allowed herself to take greater risk in letting people get close to her and get to know her. And a situationship, by definition, is just not risky. I think with Spock, he's already been through the situation with T'Pring and with Chapel, so I feel like on his mind, he should be like, well, what would a real marriage, a real family, a real life kind of look like for me? Which also seems like a step back from, because it's like, okay, I was going to get married, I'm not going to get married anymore. And then I kind of, chased my feelings with Chapel. It's like, well, what should I do now to make this all more real for me? So both of them on realer paths than just
let me ask you this question.
Situationship.
Yes, and they are asking those questions. And what you're seeing is what people do when they have those questions but don't yet have the answers to them.
And Kumla, so
that's you're assuming they have the answer. You're assuming they have the answer, and you're expecting them to act like they have the answer.
No, hold on.
I'm not assuming that they have the answer.
Hold on, Patrick. Before you get into that, I want to touch on what he just said, because that was actually my biggest thing with this. With with Spock being the most logical. He is the Vulcan on the ship. He is the one that thinks things more all the way through before doing them. It is illogical to jump from one relationship to another. As someone, as you well know, Kumla, of going to school, of being, as someone who has jumped from relationship to relationship, from situationship to situationship, and saw all of them blow up. All of them.
I hear you. So I think there's a difference, and it's one of the reasons why I like 4.5 Vulcans so much, is because people here, they're logical and they follow logic and they assume that equals they're right. But 4.5 Vulcans showed 4 new Vulcans following logic and ending up wrong in each case. So just because you're following logic doesn't mean your logic takes you to the correct place. You're a logical being, doesn't mean right. So
I see where you're going
right. So this is where Spock has ended up with his logic at this point in his career. In his journey.
I truly think that he's just thrown logic out the window, if I'm being honest with you.
I don't think he can do that.
In this situation, in this particular situation.
You haven't. Also, haven't you seen? You've been around enough. You just spoke on your jumping around, and I was there with some of the jumping around, the people that you jumped around with.
You can call it what it is. My whole stage. You can call it what it is.
And I heard, you as well as I know, some of the logical loopholes they jumped through to validate a lot of the things they were doing.
It did take a lot of mental gymnastics on both sides, I might add. Mine's as well.
Right. So,
go ahead.
So this is still a young Spock. He is still arguing with his human half. This is still him developing that, right? He's not the Spock we know in the original series yet.
So is that the argument for that this is just him being young and dumb and full of?
I mean, no, it's what other we didn't see the beginning of his courtship with
T'Pring.
We didn't see the beginning of that, so we don't know what it looked like at that time. We didn't see the beginning of his relationship with Nurse Campbell. We didn't see the beginning and what that looked like.
We saw it a bit, but not to the.
But they already knew each other. They were already friends. They were already they weren't already. It was already there. This is the first time we're actually seeing the beginning of a relationship with Spock.
And for me, and this being my miss the mark moment, that's uninteresting to me because I think the characters are further along than that. I think both of them are further along than that. Not that they have answers, but that they're. Give me one second.
Let them cook.
The pursuit of those answers for a fictional TV show that only has 10 episodes should be more interesting than I'm just going to fall back into a situationship because I don't know what I'm doing.
So
wait.
I have to point this out real quick, Kula.
Mm-hmm.
As he just elegantly pointed out to me, as someone who's been through this, like actually in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but it does make sense. Like it's someone who's been through this and can like vividly think about like what I was thinking, how I was reacting to those situations in real time. Yeah, I was really just young and dumb and expected like a different result from this than what it ended up becoming. So he probably went into this with, you know, this is just the best direction for me to go because we have some of the same interests and we bonded very well when it came to dancing, and we have other similar interests as well. So why not? But he doesn't know that at this point in his life, he doesn't know that jumping from one relationship to another is actually more on the toxic side, and you never gave yourself a chance to heal from the previous relationship.
So that's his human side that needs the time to. His Vulcan side is suppressed all his emotions and doesn't need this time. But I want to go back onto the La'an side. This is the first time, second time really, she's let anybody close, and you like I'm wondering what you're talking about this far in her journey, but this is literally the second person she has ever had a relationship with. What did your second relationship look like?
I do want to point out to you, Kumla, that we only stated that we hated this relationship from Spock's standpoint.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily from La'an's. It makes truly a lot of sense from La'an's standpoint.
Okay.
And especially how it is a situationship and not a full blown relationship, because that just makes sense from La'an's character.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you think logical Spock would handle someone that he knows this is new to relationships in general? Do you think he would try to force things and make things serious soon? Or do you think he would say, let's just see what makes you comfortable?
He would say, let's just see where this goes.
So, and this is how I know Kuma's missing my point.
Okay.
It is fiction. You can write something more interesting to happen on TV when you only have 5 seasons and 10 episodes a season.
I got you.
Like, I get that in real life, with a real person, it might be this windy road and things like this and situation. But this is television, and they got to think about this and put it down on paper.
Yep.
And it was boring. Because it was uninteresting. So I'm not interested.
I got you, Patrick.
Okay.
I got you. Wait. I got you, Patrick. But here's the thing, Patrick. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that you don't really watch relationship TV in the first place. So you're not really here for the romantic relationships in your Star Trek in the first place. So you're not looking at the fact that Desperate Housewives and Real Housewives or whatever.
We're going to the ad hominem now in the debate.
You said,
it's about what I watch and what I'm looking for. Okay, got it.
Let me finish.
Got it.
You said
I just don't understand how you might write interesting fiction. So
you said this is TV, and for a lot of people, messy relationships is interesting TV.
Well, and
it might not be
Star
interesting
Trek.
for you. Okay. Yes. So.
I think that's the main point to go with.
For Riker and Troy, that was straightforward.
Okay, good point. Riker and Troy. 7 seasons, 22 episodes a season, 4 movies. Stretch that thing out. We got a ton of time. We got a ton of runtime to go on several tangents. They have 50 episodes, and then this thing's a wrap.
I mean, if they did 10 episodes and had 3 filler episodes, so obviously they're not concerned about that part. So
and they should. You said earlier that that's a knock on this on this season. Like it is a knock on this season.
Okay.
But how the relationships what make my argument is Messi makes for more interesting relationship TV.
Okay, I do have to set dress here. So, like, both of y'all make very compelling arguments to this situation, but it really does come back to one of my other cruxes of like the "there are four lights" moment is that there is not enough time in these episodes to really flesh out a number of situations. Like with Charles's missed the mark on those people that like ended up getting corrupted and like it's really difficult for them to have another episode about that because of every season only having 10 episodes. And really, and people are also pointing out that season 5 might not have truly 10 episodes. They're thinking that it's going to be like what's the show? Game of Thrones. It might have like a Game of Thrones type situation where it only has like 6. So we don't even truly know that season 5 is going to have fully 10. It should. I'm going to say this. It should. But as it stands right now, there are only, from what we know of, 20 episodes left within this series. So that's 20 episodes to flesh out multiple characters, to introduce other new characters. There isn't enough time.
Charles, you were reacting to the idea it might be less episodes. Where you want?
Yeah, I think it's just going to end poorly because it's too much to explain with so little time, and I don't think it's going to go well. Any show that has come down, other than Game of Thrones, that has done more than like 8 episodes, it's just not enough. It's not enough to explain the story that they probably want to present. And it's a sad thing, and I think it's going to hurt Star Trek alone, not unless they have some big epic moment and they just want to go ahead and just tell that straight through, because they can't do no fillers.
That's
true. It's get straight to the point.
So that makes me wonder, like, how are they? At what point they're actually going to end this? Like, I know we're going to have the accident, but like, are they going to show the planet he goes to? Are they going to show the trial? Are they going to show like the?
We don't think that they're going to end it like right when Captain Pike gets into that accident. We think that they're going to end it like on a monumental mission, and it ends their 5-year mission. And then when things have settled down and the Enterprise is going through whatever, it's probably going through like retrofits and stuff like that or whatnot, and trying to figure out what's the next mission that this crew is going to go on. That's when that accident occurs. And we don't even truly know if they're really going to show the accident forthright, because they've already shown it like 18 million times. So
even if they don't show the accident, like, they're going to get past the point where the accident happened, right?
Yes.
Are they not going to if they don't get Pike to his happily ever after on that planet,
and that's,
I feel like I'm going to flip tables.
Yeah, because to your point, Kubla, Captain Pike is such a lovable character. He, like, you really truly end up rooting for this captain. Like, heck, I see a lot of myself in Captain Pike. So I feel you on that. I would probably be along those sides of like flipping tables if it doesn't end in a more happier way than just this happening to him.
Right.
Yeah, and the last episode kind of indicates that the incident that gets him in the beep chair is years after he's not captain of the Enterprise. So I don't know if it's actually going to end.
No, that was an alternate, completely alternate reality. I believe that was a completely alternate reality of.
I agree with you. I think we actually had this conversation too, like whether it was like a made up vision or whether it was an alternate reality. I think it was alternate reality.
You made the point of it seeming like the in Star Trek Genesis, not Genesis, the first Star Trek Generations. Movie,
the Nexus.
The Nexus. Yeah, that whole era kind of felt like the Nexus.
Yeah. Yeah, it was either like the Nexus or she created an alternate timeline somehow because she's in that weird dimensional space, Tenet dimensional space or something. Yeah, like it was not right. So yeah, I can't take that timeline as like how it's going to turn out, but that was what they were kind of indicating is that like, oh, the beep chair happens long after, but maybe it doesn't. It's one of those things, Charles and Kuma, just to let you know, we refuse to look up. We honestly would rather talk about it. I think there is an answer we can go get, but we're like, it's more fun to watch the show this way.
Yeah, just let it unfold.
Just to point out real quick, we lost connection with Kumla for a minute, so.
Oh no!
Yeah, well, we should get him back here soon, but we'll continue to move forward while that occurs.
Because I didn't really take it personally when he said I didn't understand romance. So.
He didn't say you didn't understand romance. He said you didn't watch a lot of romantic shows.
Can you hear me?
But he was right. That was the thing that hurt me. I'm like, yeah, that's correct. I sure don't.
Yeah, I was saying you don't watch romantic shows, not you don't understand romance. Come on, man.
Oh, shoot.
Well, moving forward though, I do want to talk about so like we hit on like areas where they missed the mark. We hit on whether we felt like the season should have been longer or not, but I want to touch on before we get into our whole overall feelings of the season. Like, what was that chef's kiss moment? Like, what was that like? Oh, this was so good. Like, what was that moment for you within the season?
Oh! It's when at the end when they fought old boy. Oh, and God. She just did the little light thing, the space magic, and absorbed them.
Stop! Wow! For a bit of explanation here for the unpopular explorers that don't understand like our offline commentary, both me and Charles have both stated that we hated how the ending of the last episode was just like his fingers were glowing all black and everything. Her fingers were glowing all white, and there was no like epic battle or anything. It just ended. So that was his joke on that. So, Charles, stop.
That wasn't a joke. That wasn't a joke. I was very serious. That was my highlight. That's the moment I said this season. The best.
That was your chef's kiss. That
was my chef's kiss.
I have a small counter argument. I have a small counter argument to that. I'm actually, and maybe it's just me being a little bit, I'm not going to say jaded, but a little bit used to the energy blast, kung fu fight, kind of conclusion. I was kind of okay with them wrapping it up. I didn't think it was the best for what they were showing on the screen, but people had this issue with the end of Thunderbolts because it wasn't a big action sequence.
Spoiler alert!
Oh, sorry. I didn't. I really gotta remember that no one watched that. I gotta remember that no one watched that movie.
He didn't explain too much.
And there are people who canceled their Disney Plus subscription. Okay, so they probably haven't even watched it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say they canceled because of Thunderbolts. I was like, wow.
I thought you were going to say that too.
There might be some. There might be a handful of them.
But something that we've all seen, the first Doctor Strange movie didn't quite end that way. There was a big set piece, but the final battle between him and Dormammu was very different. And so I was okay with it, but I also can see why you didn't like it. I'm agreeing with y'all. I get why you didn't like it, but I'm like, okay, I also have seen a lot of,
the ending of Doctor
power
Strange
shoot battles and whatnot.
the end of Doctor Strange, that first with going up against Dormammu, like that was the only way that could have ended. Dormammu is this like all powerful entity that like you can pretty much not destroy. So that made sense to end it in that particular way.
Agreed.
With this, like, I mean, come on, Patrick. Nurse, he had a Loki mask. Like the whole episode, he had his own Loki mask. Like they made him out to be this like all powerful being. Like, oh, when it gets down to the last moment, stuff is about to get real. All right, they built it up to that point and fell flat.
Thank you, Doctor, for bringing it out. So that's okay. I was definitely trying to be funny with the last episode. I think it had a lot going for itself, and it just fell flat at the end because it seemed like he was just a mastermind. He was ahead of he knew exactly what he needed to do. So that's why I was thinking that battle at the end, even though it's very short and simple and sweet, and it was done. I think it could have been more, and it didn't have to be a drawn out battle. It had to be a battle between light and dark. It could have been like playing of minds, like he's playing with their mind. She's trying to make them think of what they need to do to get rid of.
That's true.
Make it a little bit more sophisticated. Don't make it so dumb to us watching it. We watched the whole season up to this point, and give us something that's going to pay off. That's all we're asking for.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
This is not a hill I'm going to get unalived on. Like, I think what you guys are saying is correct. I just wanted to speak in defense of it a little bit.
You're playing devil's advocate. I get it.
Yeah, a little bit of devil's advocate. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but like they introduced Nurse Gamble at the beginning of the season. He got off in episode 3 or 4? One of those. And then like he comes back at the very end. Like I felt like there should have been more of a payoff on that ending than what they did. Like, granted, I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to go for the.
I think they ran out of budget.
That's what me and Charles. That's exactly what me and Charles said.
That's what it came to.
It's exactly what me and Charles said. Like,
all right, time for this epic battle. How much we got to spend? Nothing. We got $47.
We got $500 left.
Like, and I need to save that to buy the next GTA.
And then the intern comes in. Hey, I just bought pizzas for everybody. Okay, we got $200.
Who told him to buy pizzas?
Oh, you what happened to all that money? Hey, you said you wanted a horror to look better. Our money.
You know what, cool? That's the moment right there. When horror was going through all the different. That was the payoff of the season. That's what we came to see.
Before somebody on the internet thinks that was like a sexist comment or something like that, as me being a married man, as Kula being a married man, 2 black women, we know how much it costs for them to get their hair done. Mm-hmm. And we are forking out a lot of money for them to get their hair done.
I just have a sister and I don't pay for it, but like, it's like, I know that it's a lot of money to get black hair right.
Wait till you have to fork it out, Patrick. Like, you get how much? What the hell are you getting done?
Mm-hmm. It's just a bonnet fan. You better wrap that in that bonnet.
You know,
how much are you paying for that? Bring your bonnet.
You know what, baby? I think you look good exactly the way that you are.
I don't have complaints. Why do I have to spend money?
But like, yeah, it just ended. Like, and that's what we felt like, that they just ran out of money by the end and didn't fully know how to truly wrap it up. But like, granted, like, I love the whole flash forward event that they did, like giving Pike and
I really like that.
Battelle their happy ending, their magical moment, basically.
Happily ever after.
Even though we all know it's not going to truly end that way. Yeah. And then even after that, how Captain Pike was after that fact, like, he just lost the love of his life, so he's going to be down. He's not going to bounce back just like that. He's going to he's not going to be fully himself. And you saw how the crew was like really pushing, to like get him to be like even just a little bit of himself, so that they know that he's going in the right direction of healing. Like that whole part was great, compelling. Like that was actually one of my chef's kiss for the season, if I'm being honest with myself.
My chef's kiss has to do with actually a person who didn't show up in this season all that much. Number one, Lieutenant Commander Una. When that tall, sexy woman showed up with her short king, I was like, yes! Yes!
That was almost mine.
Yes!
Okay, so 4.5 Vulcans, that episode, that was probably the main highlight for me on that episode. It was so good, and they had the right actor to portray the guy that she fell head over heels for. It was so amazing. I'll have to agree with you on this.
Yes. I mean, as a single man, I'm just trying to give me someone that looks at me like Una looks at Doug, like.
For real.
I haven't made at that point.
Heck, I kind of want my wife to look at me the same day.
Right. A Vulcan named Doug, I love it. I love it.
It was amazing.
It was great. It was great.
So,
I'm still wondering how did he get her like that?
Who cares?
Like she was just
Who cares? No one cares.
Space magic.
Space magic. This is one of those situations where I'm like, plot points be damned. I don't care. It works. Let it roll.
Man, she was weak in the knees every time.
Mm-hmm. Them short kings do it for you every time. Every time.
And so Patrick pointed this out throughout the whole season, and he pointed this out to me a number of times. Like, this was the season of subverting expectations. It started off with Batel being hit with that whole Gorn baby thing, and them ending up being able to stop that by all this magical stuff. And then a number of things happened each and every episode after that. So, like, every time it was like subverting expectations. So that was part of this whole season. Like, Una, this big, domineering character that, like, demands respect from everybody that she comes in contact with. And she gets weak by this short, stocky Vulcan.
Short king, man. He's a short king.
That
short
just
king.
like
put some respect on Doug's name.
Sweeps her off her feet. And that whole thing, I just loved it. I loved it. I have no qualms with that.
That reminds me, speaking of subverting expectations, even though I didn't like the episode, I will admit that either because I don't know if it was because they actually did a good job of it, or because I was so uninterested, I didn't pay well enough attention. But did you all know that that Spock was the main villain in the holodeck episode before it was revealed?
No, I
did not.
I did not pick up on that, and that was another subverting expectations part. And that was a good subverting expectations, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think when writers subvert expectations in a very smart, well set up, process-driven kind of way, it just comes off as amazing.
It does.
When writers try to subvert expectations just as like, oh, I'm just going to surprise them with this.
It's lazy.
But after they put in, once it's lazy, it's like, ugh, I can't do it. Yeah, I don't think I picked up on Spock on that one. Or maybe I did. I have to look back on the episode if something tipped me off. If something tipped me off, it was right towards the end, like right as she was about to say it.
Yeah.
My chef's kiss moment is basically everything that Pelia does. There was never an episode that I didn't think she was amazing.
Pelia stole every scene that she was on. You are wholeheartedly correct.
Her LSD joke, her joke about the 42-minute shifts, the telephones, in what is one of the best episodes of the season, the analog telephones. It's just like every time she was on screen, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. So yeah, Pelia, yeah, it's not a moment. It's just anytime she was around, chef's kiss.
She stole it. Yep, she stole the show.
Especially that episode. I think that was the end of. No, that was before What is Starfleet. It was one of the other episodes. At that very end when she did that whole monologue, and you were just like, everyone was just drawn in. Even like I was drawn into like, oh crap, that was really profound. And then she just turns to what's the name? Is just like Beto, and just like, did you get that?
Yeah, exactly. I think she said, "Do you want me to do another one for the direct camera?"
I think you should clip that.
What?
I like that. Yeah.
That whole segment that she did her performance when she was just telling the story, and it was so serious.
Yes. I actually have an idea for a short on that one, like Patrick, because Patrick. This is not the first time that Patrick's talked about Pelia throughout the series, but I think I like this recap of how he talked about her, and it would be good for me to like put this in with what she said during that episode. So so okay, I think we are here at the end of our recap where we talk about how we felt about the whole season overall. Like, did we feel that this was a strong season? Do we feel that it was mediocre? Do we feel like they have a lot to grow on with season 4? And then also, like, I mean, give me a rating. Also, if you have a rating for out of 10 on this season, like, give it to me.
I can start off. I would have to give. I'm gonna give my overall rating, and I'll jump into some more stuff. I would give it overall maybe around a 7.5, probably an 8. There was some really strong episodes in there, like the show Who Ate His Tail. I'm gonna go by what y'all say because I like the things that y'all saying about what is Starfleet. So I'm gonna hold back on it, even though I need to go back and look at it. I'll give it a better rating as well, based on what you all were saying. So, and of course the last episode with the space magic battle, I have to give it that too. But the rest of the episodes, they were good. It was enough for me to watch it and not be disappointed too much. So I wouldn't say this was the strongest season. I still give season 1 its flowers. I mean, I still give season 1.
Season 1 was strong. And, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But season 3, I'll probably give it as second place compared to season 2. That's just my opinion.
All right.
So there are 10. When we start with 10, right? There are 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We take away 3 for those filler episodes. Like, this is down to 7. But then the Salat Who Ate Its Tail and What is Starfleet gets bonus. So I think those two bump it up to an 8.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. I like that. Patrick?
So, even though you didn't ask, I got a little mathematical with this and just opened up a spreadsheet earlier today.
You're not the only one.
And,
Go ahead.
Okay. And I dropped my scores from this season and last season in it. I don't have season 1 scores because we didn't do this for season 1. And oddly enough, I came out exactly as an 8 with Kumla on the season. And oddly enough, season 2 was a little bit higher than that because it had Ad Astra per Aspera in it. And I had 3 10s in that season as opposed to 2. So by the numbers, I think I'm supposed to go with season 2, but I don't know. They've all been so different that it's hard for me to pick a favorite. And I kind of need to rewatch season 1 because it was a long time ago, to be honest with you.
I still kind of know season 1 a little bit more because I got my wife to watch the first 3 episodes. I want to say 3-4 episodes of it. So like I remember certain things about it. However, I mean, I would have to agree with you. When looking at like all my scores, the lowest score that I gave this season was a 6 out of 10, and that was episode 9.
What did you give for tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow?
I gave that a 3 out of 10.
Yeah,
That is by far
I gave that one a
the
4.
worst episode in Strange New World.
That's why I can't call season 2 my favorite, even though mathematically it came out a little bit higher. I was like,
maybe you should revise your that 4 down to a 3 and see how that changes your math on your.
I'm gonna end up.
Love it.
At some point. Me and Patrick gonna like do a rewatch on that and talk about it, and I feel like that I'm probably gonna rate tomorrow lower than a 3. If I rewatch it, if I'm being honest,
I'm calling it. You just gonna stop watching within 20 minutes into the episode. He's like, no, I can't do this. There's not no luck in the world for me to do this.
Well, Charles, we decided that we're going to do a rewatch of all the series, starting with TOS. And TOS.
Did you lose a bet?
Kinda.
Yeah, we'll be retirement age by the time we actually get through it. But
well, to be fair, it's not like they asked you to go back and rewatch Picard because I couldn't let you go through that. So, no one should go back and rewatch.
And that's the part where we got to talking about Picard and how we were going to rewatch that one. Patrick said that he is not rewatching it. Point blank.
Pretty much.
I am not rewatching it. You can do it if you want to. I am not.
Like, I'll come in and just go off the dome of what I remember on episodes, but unless it's season 3, I'm not. I can't do it.
So
fair enough.
If I rewatched Strange New World season 2 and I got to tomorrow, I probably wouldn't fully watch it all the way through because I would, truly, I would probably discover more stuff that was wrong with it that I didn't point out the first time around, and I would be like, you know what, screw this. Like every time the Salamander episode comes up on Voyager when I'm rewatching, like, nope, next episode. So. I have to give this season as well an 8 out of 10. It wasn't the best season of Strange New Worlds, but I can't say that it was like a terrible season. It definitely was. There was a lot of episodes that really, really spoke to me. The Shell Out Huda's Tale, of course. What is Starfleet? Of course, and there were some episodes that didn't hit as my mark. Terrarium, but like Terrarium was the only episode that I could say out of all 10 of them that I would say that I wouldn't really watch again. That I would probably skip that one, but I would rewatch the other 9. So like I truly felt like that they did a good job with the character development within this season. Granted, like there's certain characters like Spock that I felt that they could have did more or pushed more on. But for the most part, I truly loved the season, and I will be rewatching it again. So,
yeah, I had a great time. I'm looking forward to the puppet episode next year.
We're just gonna torture. We're just gonna torture Charles with these because I feel like season 5 is probably gonna have some episode like this that we're just gonna be like, "Yep, Charles, you come back for this one."
Like I said, as long as it's no song and dance episode, I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna skip it every time. I do not want to see it. I do not want to go through it.
Also, Kumla let out a very heavy sigh on the puppet episode, so we might need to get the whole 4 of us back together.
We need to add Kumla in.
I just want to know why. Just why are you doing this? Who like how?
Yeah, we did that. Kumla. We
This is
Who
gonna be fantastic.
who thought this was a great idea?
So,
Who like
so their whole
you've only done 10 episodes a season. You've only done 30 episodes total. That is literally 1 1/5 of an original Star Trek season, and you're already to puppets. You're already out of ideas.
okay. I would.
You're already out of ideas.
What is the one trope that you hate within a series that if they when they do this, you're just like, no, I'm not gonna watch this. I'll give you a point. I'll give you a point for me. Mine's is when they do the flashback episodes where they're showing clips from previous episodes just for filler and everything because they have enough money to shoot this particular episode, so they're just doing a flashback episode or whatnot, making some contrived reason why they're doing this flashback. I hate those. If they do that in Strange New Worlds, it is immediate 0 out of 10 for me. I'm not going to give it any higher than that. I'm sorry.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Especially with the budget that they have in modern writing and only 10 episodes.
They only 10 episodes.
And I
think we riot if they give us a clip episode.
And Kumla, I get your point that there's only 10 episodes every season. Like, they should not have too many filler episodes.
They can't be out of ideas. They can't already be out of ideas.
Well, the director's point, like, it comes back to like even the musical episode was that they have a really good casting of actors within this series, so, like that have like different ranges.
Well, I think some of these are. It's like there are staple episodes that every series of Star Trek or every series of Star Trek has done. So they have to figure out a way to get those episodes into these 50 episodes or however many total they're going to end up doing. So like those are, they usually all have a musical. They usually all have a holodeck episode. So like if they only do one holodeck episode in this entire series versus however many holodeck episodes are in all of the other series, I guess that actually comes out as a win, technically.
Yeah, we're only getting the one. I truly only think we're only getting the one.
Right.
And I'm going to knock on some wood on that one. Just like
how many people want to make show predictions now?
Yeah. If we only get one musical episode, one holodeck episode, and one
Muppet
new ensign that has to die, red shirt. one new red shirt that has to die episode. Like, okay, they've touched on, at least with their new ensign that has to die, it was actually useful to the plot and not just moving the plot along for plot's sake. Like, he rose up above, gave these red shirts hope that they can become part of the plot actually, and not just fodder for a strong.
There was like the first what do we count, Patrick? First 3-4 episodes. Where
no. It started with the Gamble episode because he got 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
And then there was one more red shirt that got in the episode after that, and then there was a montage before What Is Starfleet that showed like 5 of them. They went on a red shirt unaliving spree.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to off a certain amount of red shirts for it to be real, right? I mean, you have to.
For it to be
it's
accurate.
Not Star Trek, if you know. Yeah, it's not Star Trek if you know, right? Like, it's got to
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, any other additional things that y'all want to point out before we sign off?
Let's see. Let me check my notes, see if there's anything that might be interesting. No, I think there's nothing interesting enough that would kick off another conversation. Like, I mean, you could say something. Well, no, we already said that. All right, yeah, I'm good.
Charles, Kumla?
Yeah, I have nothing else. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. Yeah, I think we've covered it all.
All right. Well, this is in the book, season 3 of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Hoping that season 4 comes out on and popping, and hopefully the last episode of that season won't end with a whimper, like how be it Charles Fields. But I really truly appreciate everyone who's joined us for this. Charles, thank you. Kumla, thank you for joining us. I know y'all are very busy, so we appreciate y'all time of joining me and Patrick on
No problem.
this recap. So, but we are going to end the episode. Normally, we end it with a Star Trek Picard quote, with him talking about things being life. But we decided the last episode that we wanted to end it differently with another Star Trek. Another Picard, I should say, speech. So we will end the episode with that.
You know, there are some words I've known since I was a schoolboy. With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censured, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably. Those words were uttered by Judge Aaron Satie.
Thank you all for joining us this season. Please join us again for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 4 when that finally drops, and also for our upcoming rewatches of Star Trek. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed week.